Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism in the face of the Antonine Plague. In 165 AD, during Marcus Aurelius' reign as Roman emperor, the Antonine Plague began to ravage the empire. It was a catastrophic event, likely smallpox, that killed millions and destabilized Rome's economy, military, and morale. This would have overwhelmed any ruler. But Marcus Aurelius, rooted deeply in Stoicism, confronted it with a perspective that defined both his leadership and personal resilience. At the heart of Stoicism is the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. The plague, an uncontrollable external force, was the very essence of what Stoics like Marcus taught one should accept without despair or fear. He could not stop the disease, but he could control his response to it. And this is where Stoicism guided his actions. 1. Acceptance of fate without fatalism. Marcus Aurelius didn't view the plague as a punishment or divine curse, but as part of nature's cycle. Stoicism teaches amor fati, the love of fate. It doesn't mean passive resignation, but rather embracing challenges as opportunities to act virtuously. In Meditations, he writes, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Rather than succumbing to fear or retreating, Marcus Aurelius remained at the forefront of Rome's struggles. He continued his duties, even leading military campaigns on the front lines against Germanic tribes. This was not reckless bravery, but a stoic acceptance that life's unpredictability should not deter one from fulfilling their duty. 2. Focusing on what he could control. The plague was beyond anyone's control, but Marcus took practical steps to mitigate its impact. He improved public health measures, reorganized the army to prevent further spread, and even sold his own palace treasures to fund relief efforts. This was Stoicism in practice, focusing energy on what could be controlled. He didn't waste time lamenting the situation, he acted where action was possible. Marcus knew that indulging in despair or anger over the plague would only drain the empire's resources, both physical and emotional. In his journal, he wrote to himself to let go of those emotions that cloud judgment. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This wasn't just philosophy, it was a strategy. Marcus Aurelius didn't allow fear or panic to interfere with rational decision-making. He maintained composure in front of his people, which inspired trust and calm during a time of crisis. 3. Treating the plague as a test of virtue. To Marcus Aurelius, the plague wasn't just a disaster, it was a test of his character. Stoicism teaches that adversities are opportunities to cultivate virtue. Marcus saw his response to the plague as a chance to demonstrate courage, wisdom, and justice. In Meditations, he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Rather than viewing the plague as a catastrophe that halted progress, he saw it as the very path by which his virtue would be tested. By framing the struggle this way, he transformed an uncontrollable situation into a platform for practicing Stoic principles. The plague didn't define his reign, the actions he took in response to it did. 4. Emotional resilience. The Stoics believed that emotions, especially fear and despair, could be controlled through reason. Marcus Aurelius maintained a steady demeanor during these years, despite witnessing firsthand the death of soldiers, citizens, and even his own family members. His wife, Faustina, and several of his children are believed to have succumbed to the plague. He could have crumbled under the weight of personal loss. But Stoicism teaches that sorrow must be managed through rational thought. In Meditations, he reflected on death regularly, not as something to fear, but as a natural part of existence. Consider that before long you will be nobody and nowhere, nor will anything you now behold exist, nor one of those who are now alive. Nature's law is that everything changes and passes away. By grounding himself in this truth, Marcus Aurelius was able to lead with emotional resilience, not burdened by fear of death or personal loss, but focused on guiding Rome through its darkest times. Conclusion. Marcus Aurelius didn't just write about Stoic principles in Meditations, he lived them. When faced with the Antonine Plague, he didn't try to control the uncontrollable or indulge in fear. He accepted the reality, focused on his duties, and viewed the adversity as an opportunity to practice virtue. His calm and decisive leadership, rooted in Stoic philosophy, provided Rome with stability in one of its most turbulent periods. Rather than repeating generic Stoic mantras, Marcus' story reveals how philosophy becomes action. Stoicism wasn't just a personal tool for enduring hardship. It was a leadership strategy for navigating crisis and inspiring resilience in others. If you enjoy these videos, please consider giving a like and subscribing. Comment down below if there are any topics you would want to see in the future.